Most people are living a quiet life of desperation, hoping and wishing for something to change, but doing nothing about it. I'm Kamil Ravin, and I want to share an experience with you that I had recently which really shocks me. It surprised me. In a way, it wasn't a surprise, based on everything that I've seen amongst so many of us today. A quiet life of desperation, hoping and wishing for something to change, but doing nothing about it. I had an evening out recently with a few friends, and during this night, there were a few conversations I had with a few different strangers just out of the blue. And in those conversations, there was a similar theme, a similar thing that was going on for each one of them. All of them were working on something, but it wasn't the thing that they actually wanted to be working on. Can you relate to that? Going through the motions, working a particular job, building a particular life, but whether you're aware of it or not, deep down, it's not the thing that you actually want. I was speaking to someone and their answer to a question I asked them really surprised me. We were just talking about something that they actually wanted, something they wanted to build, and I asked them a simple question. What do you want? What do you actually want? It sounds simple, right? It sounds like it should be a simple question. What do you want? It may surprise you, it may not surprise you to hear, but most people don't actually ask themselves that question. They don't take time to consider, what do I want? Because the person I asked, their response was, it's a bit of a difficult question, isn't it? And to that I said, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting something as simple as what do I want for my life? What do I want for myself? Has become such a difficult question. Why does it have to be a difficult question? When did that even happen? To ask ourselves what we want has become such an elusive thing. It's as if what we want isn't available to us. So why do we even bother looking or trying? And this question, what do I want, was something I saw similar amongst every single person I spoke to that night. There was something deep down they wanted, but they'd stopped feeding it. They stopped thinking it was possible or available for them. Which is why, coming back to the way I introduced this video, most people are living a quiet life of desperation, hoping and wishing for something to change and doing nothing about it. This doesn't have to be the case. And if you're watching this, maybe a part of you relates to this, feeling like the way that you're currently living right now isn't aligned, isn't authentic, isn't in tune with the way that you truly want to live your life. There were certainly moments of my life when I felt like that, working a previous job in the legal field and realizing deep down that if I continued, I would just continue to suffer day by day until it just became something that felt like it was my life. But that's not what I wanted for myself. So if you're watching this, I really want to invite you to consider and reflect, is there some elements of this in your life? And what if it didn't have to be the case moving forward? One thing that I've noticed for most people I've spoken to who are in the situation where they do want to change, but they're not really doing much about it, is that there's often a tie to security or safety. Oh, if I try, then what about my current security? What about my current safety? And that's now going to be put at risk. Is there security? Is there safety? Really? How many times do people lose their jobs just like that? COVID's a great example. How many times do things happen that no one could have seen coming and this perceived security or safety they had was suddenly swept out from under them? Using this belief that the current life you don't really want to live is your security can be one of the biggest lies that we've ever told ourselves. One thing that's been really helpful for me is to see that there is no security, there is no safety. To tie security or safety into something outside of ourselves is one of the biggest limitations that we could ever create. Can you see that? Can you see how that could be a problem? To associate our sense of security and safety with something outside of ourselves? A job, a house, some number in your bank account? It might seem like it. It might seem like this is my safety, this is my security. But it's often at the mercy of things that are outside of our control. If I'm to live my life in a way where security and safety is a place that I come from within, to see that no matter what comes my way, I can deal with it, I can react to it, I can navigate it, and in the end things will be okay because I'm trusting in myself and I'm trusting in life that I've got the security and the resourcefulness within me as opposed to anything outside me. Living a quiet life of desperation based on the illusion that it's your security is a lie. So what's the alternative? What else could be available? The possibility, the other alternative is that perhaps this thing that you want deep down is more available than you might think. It just might not seem it because you haven't created it yet. Another topic came up with the person I was speaking to. There was this idea of, well, what if it doesn't work out? And it very well might not, right? We don't always know if something's going to work out. People try stuff all the time and it fails. There is something to be seen in not even trying. I have failed more times than some people have even thought about trying. Let me say that again. I've failed more times than some people have even thought about trying. not trying, thoughts about it. But there's a relationship we can have with failure, right? With things not working out. And it's conditioned. It's conditioned from when we failed at school, or when we failed in other areas of our lives, and it felt like it was a bad thing. But it's not. Failure is in the eye of the beholder. It's something that we create. It's something that we make up. The only thing that actually makes something a failure is if we label it as that. And what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work out, you try something else. You go again. You go back to what you were doing before, but at least you know that you tried. And this is the point. Living a quiet life of desperation really means that you never even gave it a go. You never even thought, before I die, I do want to go to my grave knowing that I gave it my all, that I didn't think, what if? I really want to take a stand for shifting away from this way of living, shifting away from living a quiet life of desperation. I wouldn't want that for anyone, to be just existing as opposed to living, to be just getting through things as opposed to thriving and really being in such gratitude and freedom for the life that you are living. Most people don't see a way out. They don't see that there is another way. And sometimes it's because they don't surround themselves with people that are doing it. Sometimes it's because they think other people got lucky, or they had some cards dealt to them that were better, or they are just different to them. It's one of the biggest mistakes, to treat yourself as different from someone else. There's a saying, who am I to do this, right? Or who am I to have this life? Who am I to achieve this lifestyle? Who am I to do something that I love? The other side of that is, who am I not to? Who are you not to do this? Who are you not to be this? Who are you not to create something different for yourself? Every human being is so much more resourceful and capable than they could ever imagine. I'm not just saying that, it's a fact. We sleep on what we can really do. In any given situation, if someone had to make something happen, or they die, they had to make something happen, or a loved one would come to harm, they would act very differently. So all this perceived bullshit and limitation that we create about what we think we can and can't do, about what's possible and what isn't, it's just made up. It's a way out. It's a way out because of this false sense of security and comfort we can cling to. This underlying resistance, this knowing deep down that you may be living a quiet life of desperation. It's there for a reason, because you're in resistance to your true self. You're in resistance to your authenticity, to your purpose, to your mission, to knowing that deep down there is more you have to give. If this message is speaking to you, share it with someone you think it could be of value to. Tell me more about where you are in your life. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear more about your journey. In the comments, you'll find a few different links to either message me, book in a meeting with me if you want to talk more, or even join a community that I have for entrepreneurs or people who want to start businesses. You don't have to go through this alone, and there is another route forward. It's just about the willingness to create it. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found value, give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Much love.